Andrew and I just went and saw Rampage because it's gonna be a lot of Dwayne Johnson this summer, and I'm totally okay with that. Because so far, 2 out of the 2 movies I've seen, which would be Jumanji, Into the Jungle, and Rampage, which I just saw, were surprisingly more interesting and more fun than I thought they would be. Andrew and I just went and saw Rampage. We both went into the film sort of expecting it to suck. And it turned out to not be as bad as I had anticipated. It actually had some heart, and it was pretty funny. General premise of the film, there is this character, Davis, played by The Rock, who raised a gorilla that he names George. Is that just the thing that you name gorillas, I guess? And so the gorilla is albino. He gets infected with some sort of chemical that makes him grow exponentially and develop all sorts of traits of other animals and basically go on a rampage, destroying everything in his path. And the same thing happens to a wolf and a crocodile, all orchestrated by the evil heads of this company. And I think that they're siblings, although it wasn't necessarily clear. I think maybe at the end of the film it was clear, but the whole first bit I wasn't really sure. But I'm pretty sure they're siblings. So they are running this company, and they've developed this weaponized version of genetic modification. Basically turns you into a unstoppable rage monster. And then they also develop a chill pill that should make you relax. And they basically draw the creatures to Chicago, where they're headquartered, because they want to make sure to collect this genetic material, because they did all of their experiments in space. This film has a great opening, by the way. Spoiler alerts throughout, starting here. They are in space. There's this woman who's desperately trying to get into the escape pod, and the escape pod's locked. She's like, I have to get out. The subject escaped, and everyone's dead, and the hull has been breached, and you hear the voiceover, her being like, you have to get the samples. And she's like, I can't get the samples. The subject has taken over the lab. It's escaped. And they're like, the subject is a rat. And she goes, it's not a rat anymore. And so she's trying. And the woman who's the sister gets on the comm, and she goes, either you bring back the samples or you don't come back. And then we're like, whoo, man. And she was just ice cold. So she went in, got the samples. You see this crazy giant rat that chases her. She manages to get to the escape pod, and she's drifting away from the exploding space station. You think that she's fine, but the rat had scratched at the glass, and you see the cracks grow and grow and grow, and then boom, she explodes. And that's how the canisters land on Earth to infect the 3 creatures. Pretty ridiculous premise. And a pretty ridiculous movie overall. It's just a lot of wanton destruction. And you have that sort of conflict where the military wants to drop bombs, and the guy who's, the animal protectors are like, no, don't do it. They're not in control. And you meet the scientist who developed that genetic modification because she was trying to save her brother who had cancer. And she helps Davis, and they sort of become friends. But part of what made the film more enjoyable than it should have been is, first off, The Rock can sell most things. He's just got a natural charisma that's perfect. The way they designed the interactions between him and the gorilla are pretty hysterical. They do a lot of, if you want to see a gorilla give some inappropriate sign language and use some inappropriate hand gestures, then this is the movie for you. And they have crass humor. You've got gorillas making poop jokes, and just in general being kind of mean and funny. And it works. And The Rock has a lot of lines that, delivered by most other people, would not have done well, and delivered by him are at least entertaining. And there was a lot of funny moments, and Andrew and I found ourselves laughing and just enjoyed it more than we thought we would. If I didn't have MoviePass, I'm not sure that I would consider spending hard-earned money on this film, but it is definitely a film that will be worth renting or streaming once it's released, because it is a rollick and it's a good time. And if you have MoviePass, or if you have some extra expendable income, you're one of those people who gets a free movie a month from one of the other clubs that you do, this is a fun one to go to. And if you set your expectations low, I can guarantee they'll be exceeded. And I'll see you tomorrow.